Hello everyone. I was trying to decide on a subject for my first sleep story. The problem was not knowing what to write. In truth, there is too much to write about. I shifted from one idea to another and then another. I just couldn't really decide. Then I came across an idea I rather like the sound of, and I hope you'll like it too. So relax, close your eyes, and listen only to my soothing voice as I tell you tales of old myths and legends from my country. Wales is a land steeped in myth and legends. For centuries, the Welsh sat around their blazing fires, rugged, harsh faces glowing orange and red in the otherwise pitch-black night, and told their stories about dragons and heroic kings, flirty princesses and mischievous magic folk who may look small and witty, but you'd better hope to never cross their path. Tonight I will tell the tale of 4 Welsh tales. They're true tales, or so they say. In Ceredigion, a county in North Wales, there is a place called Devil's Bridge. In this unassuming and rather tranquil and sweet old-timely Welsh village, formed when the Welsh princes ruled from their Welsh-made stone-walled castles to rule over their vast fields of golden Welsh green fields and rosy-cheeked Celtic nymphs whose fierce tempers never matched their angelic appearance. When Ceredigion was triumphant in splendour, it was a part of a powerful Welsh kingdom, ruled over by strong, benevolent and wise princes. From their lofty royal palaces, Cynan, Llywelyn, Rhydderch, Edwin, Griffith and Rhys all took their turn to watch over their kingdom, and when the ever-waiting arms of death appeared, another simply stepped into his well-worn, utterly adored boots. This was the rule in Ceredigion and Timbuktu. We all need a leader, they say, and these men stepped up to take their duty. We do not know which prince failed in his cause to protect the people of Ceredigion. The story is very vague. It says only that it took place in the 11th century, but one such shameful prince, be it Cynan, Llywelyn, Rhydderch, Edwin, Griffith or Rhys, none ever stepped forward to claim their rightful blame. They could not spare the village the sight of the visitor who walked into Devil's Bridge that fateful day. That role fell at the feet of one unassuming, grey-haired old lady. There is a rather unlikely account, a tall tale one could say, but one never does know for certain, does one? The village was so renowned for its breathtaking scenery that it caught the attention of the devil himself. Tired of his perpetual occupation down in the fiery depths of hell, the devil simply took a vacation. Well, why not? We must not be the only ones who wish to get away from it all for a few days or more. While there, he struck a bargain with a local woman whose cow was stranded across the river. In a bid to buy her soul, the devil said he would build her a bridge in exchange for the soul of the first living thing that crossed it. The woman agreed to the devil's proposition. When the bridge was built, the woman, who was far too cunning even for the devil, threw a loaf of bread across it, which her dog then chased. The devil was never seen in Wales again, too embarrassed at being outwitted by the old lady. In the village of Devil's Bridge today, there are 3 crossings across the river, The oldest is said to have been built by Satan himself. In the 12th century, the rule of Wales was divided into Pura Walia, the areas ruled by the Welsh princes, and Marcia Walia, ruled by the Anglo-Norman barons. A war was waged between the biggest and the most powerful Welsh kings to establish themselves as the leader of Pura Walia. Eventually, one man triumphed. His road was hard and long, but Llywelyn, the King of Gwynedd in North Wales, was proclaimed the ruler of all Wales. In 1205, Llywelyn married Joan, a natural daughter of King John of England. She is not to be confused with her half-sister, also named Joan, who was legitimate and married King Alexander II of Scotland. The Joan in Llywelyn's tale was the daughter of King John's mistress, Clemence. Her mother's name is known only from Joan's obituary in the Tewkesbury Annals, where she is called Regina Clementina. It is here that our story of Galat begins. We have long since heard the tale of heroic, gallant, and fearless hounds who protect and serve their masters with diligent care, holding no concern for their own lives when faced with protecting their chosen human. Gelet was such a hound. Even the mightiest and bravest, and indeed the most arrogant of kings, prizes the place filled at their sides by their canine companions. Llywelyn was no different. The village of Bed Gelet in Gwynedd literally means Galet's grave, and is supposedly the final resting place of Wales's most famous dog. One day, Llywelyn was out hunting with his wife, leaving their baby son with a nurse and a servant to look after him. The nurse and the servant went for a walk in the mountains, leaving the baby alone. When Llywelyn returned, Galet came running out of the lodge towards his master, covered in blood. Llywelyn rushed into the baby's room to find the cradle overturned and no sign of his son. Filled with grief, he drew his sword and killed Galet. As the dog died, his whimpers were answered by the sound of a baby crying from behind the overturned cradle. When Llywelyn pulled aside the cradle, he found his son unharmed and the body of a huge wolf next to him. With remorse, Llywelyn buried Gelet in a meadow nearby and marked his grave with a cairn of stones. Near Bed Gelet, the location of our previous story, is Dinas Emys, the lofty mountain home of the Welsh Red Dragon. Our story begins in the 5th century, when the Celtic king Vortigern chose the area as the site for his castle. William of Malmesbury wrote a rather unsavoury account of Vortigern's character in the 12th century. At this time, Vortigern was king of Britain, a man calculated neither for the field nor the council, but wholly giving up to the lusts of the flesh. The slave of every vice, a character of insatiable avarice, ungovernable pride, and polluted by his lusts. No other sources confirm this unflattering description, and it seems safe to assume that this is an exaggeration of accusations made by earlier writers. Every day, Vortigern's men would work hard, erecting the first of several proposed towers, but the next morning they would return to find the masonry collapsed in a heap. Vortigern was advised to seek the help of a young boy who turned out to be Merlin. He explained that the hill fort could not stand due to a hidden pool containing 2 dragons. Vortigern commanded his labourers to dig deep into the mountain, and they did indeed discover an underground lake. Once drained, the red and white dragons that lay sleeping there awoke and began to fight. The white dragon represented the Saxons, and the red dragon the Welsh. Eventually, the white dragon fled, and the red dragon returned quietly to his lair. Vortigern's castle was built and duly named after Dinas Emys, and the red dragon has been celebrated ever since. In 1170, the first styled Prince of Wales, Owen ap Griffith, bid farewell to his mortal Welsh coil. He took his regal crown made from princely Welsh gold and tossed it up into the air. The problem came not with Owain's passing, but the fact he bore many ambitious and treacherous children, who all would give their brothers and sisters for that crown to sit upon their golden curls. Indeed, it was true that Owen was never caught sleeping on the job. His children were testament to that very fact. Our story concerns Madoc. After a violent and bloody dispute arose between his siblings regarding the succession, Madoc and his brother Rhirid were so upset and angered by events that they decided they wanted nothing more to do with their family, or indeed their homeland, and they duly took ship from Ross-on-Sea and sailed westwards to see what they could find. What Madoc found, so the legend runs, was America. He and his brother managed to cross the Atlantic and land on the shores of the New World. His sailors intermarried with the local Native American tribes, and for years the rumor of Welsh-speaking Native American tribes was widely believed.